welcome back to another edition of the John Wayne Surge Protector Podcast, 6040 production. I'm Eric Halsey.
I'm Alex Midway, and today's little chat's going to be about neighbors. I personally like mine. How are you doing with yours?
I've got one neighbor we love dearly, and one making sure my windows are open. Kind of douchebags.
Did you hear about the guy who plays Reacher, Alan Rickson, and his relationship with his neighbor?
I heard it was Rand Paul-esque, but I haven't really dug into it. What's going on?
It's more like a Nancy Pelosi's husband-esque, because apparently Reacher's riding around his motorcycle, and this guy stepped out in front of him one of the times. He claimed that Reacher was riding the motorcycle a little bit too fast for the neighborhood, and if you saw did you see the actual footage of him riding the bike, or did you see the ring cam?
No, I saw the ring cam.
So, but one, it was just him riding, and you see him, like, the guy steps out in the middle of him, and he's got to dump a bike. So he gets up, obviously angry, goes over, and he then just pushes the guy down and everything else. Now that guy's saying, he kicked the S out of me.
That's a fair assessment, and honestly, you don't get that a lot from victims. I was fully expecting you to say this guy was like, I mean, we both got our shots in.
Yeah. Like, you live right next door to the guy who plays Reacher, and not the Tom Cruise variant of it. He just got done with a Netflix series called War Machine, and he lives up to the name. Like, flag him down from the side, be like, hey, neighborino, like, we need to chat. Like, you don't step out in front of a man and make him dump his bike.
Well, so according to my research on the Googles, Alan Richson, who I will be only calling Jack Reacher from here on out, they've got him listed at 6'3", 240. And if you've seen this man, I can't believe he's only 240. This dude is massive, and he wailed on this guy.
So, judging by those stats, they're pretty much like our president.
It very much reminds me of your favorite little meme of I'm a 6'3", 250-pound black dude. I'm gonna kick your ass, and it's like when little Jimmy forgets he's not on the internet.
Yeah, it's I don't know what you step. First of all, the guy's on a motorcycle, and then second of all, he's in a movie called War Machine, and that might apply to him. So, best of luck, Buckaroo.
As far as your personal feelings are concerned, I know one of my ultimate fears is having some guy beat the brakes off me and ride off on a motorcycle looking cool as hell. So, double whammy for this fella.
He's still got to live in the neighborhood. I bet he's not stepping outside again, but...
Oh, sell that house.
Yeah, he just move real quick.
Uh-huh.
So, we're all about keeping you guys safe, from your neighbors to a State Department memo that just dropped on Sunday and reads, the Department of State advises Americans worldwide, and especially in the Middle East, to exercise increased caution. Americans abroad should follow the guidance and security alerts issued by the nearest U.S. embassy or consulate. So, just in case you're wondering how our war and our likeness is being felt in the Middle East, it's gotten worse.
Yeah, did not see this coming. I don't think anybody could have. So no blaming the administration for this one.
No idea why. Like, weird. Also, did you hear what Trump's referring to the war as now?
No, I haven't.
Took a page out of his idol. He's like, the Democrats are messing us up, calling us a war, but it's a military operation. I'm like, wait a second. I was like, who else is calling a war a special military operation? Like, oh, the Russian guy.
Well, you learn from the best. You know, how's that old saying go? You steal from one guy, it's theft. If you steal from numerous guys, it's homage. I don't know.
Yeah,
just cut that.
work that one in.
Yeah.
Let's kick it along. Honestly, whatever. Tesla's around the same thing. We're not even talking about that one today. We're gonna deviate but stick to the stock market and tell you about a little small Ukrainian company called Swarmer. They have the listing SWMR, just launched their IPO, and your boy just bought a couple shares yesterday at $28, and today they're already at $35. And these guys don't build actual drones, but they build what's it called? they build they make them autonomous. So, and they have all this data from Ukraine, so it might be a kind of a worthwhile company to invest in.
So these drones are autonomous, you said?
So what they do is they build kind of software for them that kind of lets them just do their own things. The way that I describe it is it kind of you plug in a target and you say how to get here. So in case it starts getting jammed or anything else, if it can't get a signal, it still has kind of a little bit of a roadmap. The same thing is if you're driving down to the store and your GPS, you got it on your phone, and then jamming kicks in and you can't get the GPS, but you still have a roadmap in your lap. They kind of produce that. You're still able to crash into that Russian refinery.
Ah, okay. Okay. Hey, it sounds like a smart idea.
Yeah. I mean, it's good for them, but they don't have any of the president's kids on their board, so it's kind of,
Oh, so it's going to fail.
yeah, starting a little
Oh,
bit
okay.
behind. But
Well,
they are
cash out and
based
take
out.
that $35 and run, partner.
It's going up. They're based out of Texas, but that's like pretending that a Ferrari dealership in our Phoenix is the heart and soul of Ferrari. It's not. I mean, these guys are still putting in hours down in Ukraine. They have about 82,000 combat missions that they're drawing info from and training their autonomous software. And while ChatGPT trained their little AI on all kinds of books, music, and everything else, these guys just clockworked orange their AI and just played it nothing but raw war data.
It would be nice if we could really keep AI to like doing fun things like, what would I look like as a cartoon or what would this, and less about war or making child porn, Elon. But I guess we're going to use it for something. Let's at least try and beat some bad guys.
I mean, it's kind of where the future's going. It's one of the guys who's in the Army Green Beret. Let's see, Brian Pickens, he fought alongside the Ukrainians. He came back and he said in places like Pokrovsk, it's absolute. GPS doesn't work, radio doesn't work. Switchblade 600s are ineffective. Those are kind of the suicide drones that we started making. Most Western systems fail. He said anything radio controlled is largely obsolete. Autonomous systems and SATCOM enabled systems are the future. So he's been on the front lines. He's been a Green Beret. He kind of says what guys in Ukraine know, and that's why they're doing that. That's why a lot of the drones nowadays, they're out there just flying them by fiber optics. So every town kind of looks like a giant spider web on top. It's because all the fiber optic cables that they use to launch these drones so they can't get jammed.
Oh, interesting. Learn something new every day.
Yeah.
The world is a terrifying place.
I mean, it's pretty cool stuff. And again, it started out, I think, when it initially came out at $5. People started hearing about that. It's went as high as 60. I bought it yesterday at 25. I made about $8 per share today. So as far as ROIs go, it's not that bad. And honestly, a company out of Ukraine making like AI to control drone systems, like that seems like a pretty reasonable business idea.
Yeah, I'm willing to buy in a little right now. It terrifies me that Ukraine has the opportunity to Skynet the entire world. But you know what? I'm gonna trust in Zelensky.
Well, you should do that. And another reason why you should actually buy into it, because Jonathan Lippert, the president of Defense Tech for Ukraine, told a reporter that Swarmer also seems to be preparing for U.S. government defense contracts. Do you know who who sits on their board?
Who sits on that board?
The board chairman is a gentleman by the name of Eric Prince, the guy who used to be the head of Blackwater, the largest private military this world's ever seen.
Well, nothing can go wrong there.
Also, fun fact, did you know that Eric Prince is the brother of Betsy DeVos?
No, but let's hope he's a little bit more competent.
I mean, he ran Blackwater. Granted, they had to disband because some things that they did in Iraq, but those boys made a lot of money, and he's dealt with government contracts before. So, again, take a look at the stock. Don't come back to us later on when we're on a yacht peddling right-wing conspiracy theories and say that we didn't tell you how to get rich.
Yep, and because of that, I will hold my tongue about Betsy DeVos.
But let's go back over to do a honey badger stand. God, what am I getting cold here? Honey badger stand update. And keep it back to the locals. So some of the stuff that's going on right now, it's literally 5D chess. It's last week, Trump went ahead and unsanctioned Russian oil, and he also went ahead and he unsanctioned Iranian oil, both of which had embargoes on it. So what this does essentially, it gives both of them a giant windfall. So we are fighting these countries and trying to starve them out economically, but unsanctioning their oil just gives them billions upon billions of dollars. And this is the level of 5D chess that I've never seen.
So just so I'm following, I don't get this stuff as fast as you do. Ukraine is part of the UN.
They're not.
Not anymore?
I don't think they ever were.
I thought that to get in, they had to disarm.
Yes, we are. You're right. Never mind.
Okay.
We're good.
So
You're not part of NATO.
Yeah, okay. So Ukraine's in the UN fighting Russia, who is not in the UN. Okay.
Mhm.
So we're team Ukraine? Question mark?
Yeah.
Okay. Just bear with me. Let me fit. This is a two-parter question. And then we are Iran, not in the UN. We are at war with Iran.
Who is friends with Russia.
And because both these people that we're technically at war with are kind of at war with Ukraine, or, well, but we're lifting all sanctions on them so they get richer.
Yes, we literally invaded a country and lifted sanctions on them so they could get more money while we go to war with them.
Is there somebody we can call on the right who can explain the logic of this to us? Because it sounds like pure insanity.
It's Joe Biden's fault, is what they'll tell you. It's the same. It's what we're doing right now is if we went to World War II and we're still buying Hofbrauhaus beer out of Germany, but in billions upon billions of dollars worth.
So none of this makes sense.
No.
All right, just making sure. Sometimes the way you talk, I feel stupid. And then I find out, like, oh, nobody understands this.
We gave up French fries during the, what's it called, after 9/11. But, I mean, this time we're like, yeah, that's fine. Iranian oil is good to go.
All right, fair enough.
So, also to follow up on your question on whether we are friends with Ukraine, it's not if you listen to Pete Hegseth, because if you've been listening to Pete Hegseth, he's been yelling about a military having an ammo shortage, and shocker, he blamed Joe Biden, just like everything else in this world. So let me go ahead and set this straight real quick. We're not using HIMARS on Iran. We're not using anti-tank rockets on Iran. And I didn't hear anything about small arms fire being used up in the area. Well, just yet, but we'll see how it develops on Thursday. Ukraine doesn't have any Tomahawks. It doesn't have any THAAD missiles. And the amount of Patriot missiles that Ukraine got over the entire course of a war is less than what Israel blew through the first week of this new war. So you can't blame Ukraine for not having any weapons. I can blame you for starting a needless war, seeing as how everyone's telling us there's no reason for it, but you can't blame Ukraine on this one.
Do we blame just Israel, or?
I mean, we blame the fact that our president is in the Epstein files and the fact that people can hang thing over his head and make him play the fiddle for him. That's who we blame.
Well, I mean, if you can't trust Pete, look what Joe Biden did to the ignition lock on my breathalyzer.
That guy forced 17 beers down my throat and told me to drive. Like, sure, Pete, sure.
Why did Joe Biden give me these stupid tattoos?
It's always Joe Biden, this Joe Biden, that. But I mean, continuing on, like, Trump's coming out and repeatedly also saying that Putin is easy to negotiate with. And he's like, he's the one who wants peace. Zelensky's a tough one. Like, none of this makes sense until you find out that the president's constituency is not us. It's Russia and Bibi Netanyahu. I mean, I think it's pretty clear right now. But Ukraine looks at the whole thing about Russian sanctions are going off like, uh-oh. Like, they're about to get a whole lot of money. So they decide to do some Ukrainian S. And in case you're wondering, they blasted a couple holes in the Port of Primorsk. And there's also another port that's about 50 miles south of them in Ust-Luga. And both of these places are huge. Not only because of the fact that Primorsk can handle about 1 million barrels a day to export. Ust-Luga can handle 700K, so that's almost 2 million barrels a day. It also is because this is north of Leningrad. This is closer to Finland than it is to Ukraine. They are hitting some faraway targets, and they're hitting them effectively.
So are either of those ports? So I guess both those ports are unsanctioned, right? It's not just what's going through Hormuz; it's going the opposite way too, right?
Correct. So this is where the little shadow fleet comes out.
Ah, okay, okay, all right. I'm following now. I'm following
Yeah.
now. Burn it all, Ukraine. Burn it all.
It started burning about 2 days ago, and there's still footage on there. Again, once oil starts catching fire, it's tough to put that
Yeah,
stuff
it doesn't
out.
go back out.
Yeah,
No putting the toothpaste back in that tube.
it's still burning up there. And I log in, and honestly, I want that as my phone screensaver. Like, keep it going. F these people.
Let me ask you one thing, just
Hmm.
personal. Do you remember the Exxon Valdez?
Yeah.
All right. So for those of you who don't remember, I think 80s, early 90s, something like that. Some ship captain ended up hitting something, spilled a bunch of oil into the ocean, and then everybody lost their ever loving minds. We got a bunch of those Dawn dish soap cleaning ducks commercials for like
Hmm.
10 years. Well, everybody hates that guy, right? How much pollution are we doing with all these wars and all this burning oil? Do you think he's sitting there? He's just like, you son of my guns.
It's like any politician back in the day. It's like when he didn't use the right word on, like, and this whole party, like Republican Party, like crucified him. He's like, my God, he wore like these shoes into the Senate. Like, that's unthinkable. That's unmanly. Like, and nowadays, like, I grab him by the P. Like, his poll numbers are up.
Not anymore. I've been in
Fake
there.
news. But this whole war thing is it's kind of got people all wrapped around weird because a Ukrainian company, Archer, that makes thermal imaging for Ukrainian drones, has a warehouse in the Czech Republic, and it got set on fire. And the relationship to the Iran war on this one is because the people who did it, the Earthquake faction, kind of like a small little bioterrorist group, well, first of all, they did come out and say that they set the warehouse on fire when there's nobody there, but they were under the impression that these thermal imaging things were being sent to Israel, and they're not. Like, Ukraine's got its own problems, and it's like, let's get this warehouse away from Russian bombs. Like, oh, Czech Republic, like, we'll be good here, right? And next thing you know, a bunch of dudes with Molotov cocktails in the middle of the night burn the place.
I will give the Team Earthquake or whatever they were called A for effort. Okay, glass half full in it here. A for effort. Just got to do a little bit more research. Just a little bit more before you pull the trigger.
Yeah, if you're gonna go out there, set a place on fire, at least Google it a little bit more. Like, who's this place belong to? Like, oh, it's the Ukrainians. Like, okay, they got bigger issues to worry about.
A for effort, fellas, but you effed the dog on this one.
So let's turn it around, keep it domestic. I know we've been talking about the SAVE Act. Have you seen anything come out about it?
I saw that depending on which article I read, because I read two, one said we need this to save us from Mexico, and
Mm-hmm.
then one said a bunch of stuff about just disenfranchising like 20% of the country.
Yeah.
So
Like,
six one way, half dozen the other.
again, the whole thing's just meant to just disenfranchise voters. And one of the things they actually came out with, and they started, I don't know why I didn't think about this because it's not a shocker once you hear it. But they're like, well, most people with passports are like, oh my God, they're mostly in blue states. He's like, they looked at the top 10 states in America who don't have passports. Yeah, it's red states, homie. And something tells me those birth certificates ain't close to finding that trailer. So,
No, no. Poor people don't hold on to paperwork.
they also
And
don't get like, they don't get passports to visit Venice.
you made me get a passport roughly 10 years ago.
Uh huh.
And it took a lot of effort on your side to be like, this is the form you need. This is because poor people just don't do that. Do you want to know where I have my birth certificate?
No idea.
Trick question, no clue.
You'll have to take my word for it that I was born. Go F yourselves. Like, come on.
Listen, buddy, I'm a white non-landowner here, okay? I want my preferential treatment and I want it now.
My privilege card, I'll just use that instead. But one thing, it's the Republicans, what's it called? Mike Johnson got caught on a hot mic. He was out there, he was talking to one guy, and he's asking him, he's like, hey man, He's like, what's going on? What do you think this is going to do? And the guy responds to him, is like, well, we thought it's going to affect about 12%, but it's actually going to be 18% less people at the polls. Let's see. And Mike Johnson's response to having less people vote, he said, that'd be huge for us.
So I did a little digging on this one too, because I saw it and I was like, why aren't we seeing this everywhere? So slightly askewed on this one.
Oh.
They were in the guy he was talking with when he got caught on his hot mic, it was the governor of Louisiana. So
Okay.
what they were talking about was a different bill that was strictly for the state of Louisiana and not about the SAVE Act. Although it completely makes sense that this is what the SAVE Act is meant to do.
Okay, so this was like a kind of a test run, but it wasn't in response to that.
Very much so. No, this was for a God. Sorry, trying to use my brain and it's not working today. This was some Louisiana state bill where it was actually going up from 12% is what they thought, whatever, up to 18%, like in the positive, because Louisiana is never going to be not red. Unlike Texas, hope. But yeah, no, this was not about the SAVE Act, and honestly, it hurt my feelings because I already had about a paragraph written about it.
You know what? I'm glad. We'll admit when we're wrong in this one, but it's very bad that Joe Biden would put this information out there to try to confuse us.
Yeah, I don't know why Joe Biden would say this would be huge for us and mess with Louisiana politics while he's out of office, but it definitely wasn't anybody else.
It must have been Hunter Biden to put it up to it. High on crack with prostitutes as a private citizen of Burisma.
Yeah, I do believe they were talking about his laptop battery was 12%, but is now up to 18% battery. So keep up the great work, Mike.
How did he get those battery power? Probably with our tax dollars. Probably with those gay windmills.
Absolutely, it was him, the Somalis, and the Haitians.
Yeah. Even if Joe Biden's trying to stop us and Mike Johnson wasn't caught on this, like, you can bet your rear end, like, this is why they're doing it.
This is exactly what they're doing.
Like, we can't pass good policies. Like, why don't we just stop people from voting on them? Like, fair enough. What can we do? Like, limit the amount of them there. Like, awesome. He's like, how big of a problem is this? Like, I don't know, about 60 people in the past 40 years have done it. Like, we're going to make this one our top priority, just like the trannies.
Yeah. So roughly 58 people, something like that. There were cases of voter fraud since the 80s. So it's definitely those trans kids trying to play middle school sports, and I'm seeing Dominicans now. I can't even follow who we're supposed to be mad at.
When the Heritage Foundation tells you that it's a number under 3 digits for the past 40 years, like, it's not that big of an issue. If it was, these guys would scream about it and have numbers to back it up. But, like, our politics and our elections have been secure until this dummy came along. And apparently there's a guy in California who's also yoking up ballots as well, like a sheriff. Like, we're starting down a slippery slope on this one.
I think our slipperiest slope was when Elon sent a bunch of pre-filled out ballots to people and somehow has had zero repercussions.
Well, also the fact that he said that's when him and his BFF Trump were feuding after he said that he's in the Epstein files, all caps, and then he said he never would have won this election if it wasn't for me. Like, I don't know. Like, did his vote count for more than one? Like, I have my theories.
Come on, Rockland County. Let's show us. let's see what actual voter fraud looks like.
But it's Grandpa was what's it called? He was truth socialing the other day. He's like, I don't think we need to make any deal with a crazy, country destroying, radical left Democrats unless and until they vote with Republicans to pass the Save America Act. And honestly, the Democrats have been trying to go ahead and fund the TSA. They've been trying to do all this, but they want to separate the fact that the ICE agents are out there and pretty much they don't want to keep funding ICE, who are just kind of modern day Gestapo, don't need warrants, don't need masks, able to kick in doors anywhere.
Not to mention people like Stephen Miller saying they have absolute immunity.
Yeah, like, you put people who fail open note tests and you tell them that they have absolute immunity, like, what do you think is going to happen?
Well, you're a giant loser with zero friends who peaked in high school. Here's a gun and just a shield of immunity.
Yeah.
Use your best judgment.
Like a Spanish guy danced with your girlfriend one day when you were high on pills in your trailer park and you never got over it. So now you're going to go deport an entire food truck. Like, go F yourself, man.
Can't make it up.
Like, I was reading all these things, like, you're like, oh yeah, we're going to send ICE in the airports. Another guy, I think it was Louisiana, he's like, we're going to send in the National Guard to help the TSA guys. Like, I don't know, like, thinking out of a box here. Like, how about we just fund them? Like, give them money. Can we do that instead?
Yeah, why don't you just approve one of the 7 to 10 plans where we get TSA back up and moving, instead of dragging your feet and blaming everybody else.
If you're doing everything, I was like, but the party that's supposed to be financially sound and like fiscally responsible, like, in addition to getting these ICE guys and giving them more money than a modern military, like, let's deploy the National Guard. Like, that costs us money, you jerk off.
Well, money doesn't matter anymore because the Treasury declared us insolvent this week.
Well, we
Buddy,
never did do
we
that.
found a credit card on the floor and we're using it till it declines.
Again, if we ever have elections again, the Republicans are going to be screaming like, "Wow, what's spending is out of control." Like, why is it?
Yeah. Please tell me where this started.
So it's one of the things about the Save America Act is it's going to limit mail-in votes, and an honorable mention has to go out to our President Donald Mail-in Trump, who just now went ahead and cast his ballot in the special election in Florida with a mail-in vote. So while he rails on it, he definitely does it himself.
Yeah, it's conservative 101. Do as I say, not as I do. These rules are for you, the unwashed masses.
I don't get it, man. Like, I don't know how you can be for the Republican Party at this point. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. It's not financially responsible. It doesn't care about your neighbor. Like, we're all about Jesus' teaching. Like, Jesus wouldn't be a Republican if he came back alive right now. Like, you guys would deport him and just beat him senseless.
You would have if Jesus came back today, you would rifle him to the Sudan within a week.
Yeah.
Then call him a socialist and blame Joe Biden.
It's insane. All right, let's finish up a little bit on this one right now. It's I want to go back to one thing that popped up, and it's possibly a false flag operation because Iran went ahead and denied claims that it fired missiles at Diego Garcia. And Diego Garcia is not a single person, but it's actually a military base. It's a remote base shared by both the UK and the US in the middle of the Indian Ocean, and apparently they missed. Iran went ahead and said, like, no, man, that wasn't us. And if you Google Diego Garcia, it's literally so far away from Iran, it doesn't make sense for them to do it. Like, they're having a hard time hitting targets just one country over. Why they're shooting at the place down there, I don't know why, but have you Googled this place yet?
I have not.
Oh my God, it looks like one of the most greatest places to be, like, as far as fishing. It's an island, but it's an island that kind of goes the whole way around, so you kind of have a little bit of a lagoon inside. So I don't know what you call that, but as far as all the sites, it seems great, but it's just a military base, and you really can't go there.
Ooh, yeah, that is pretty.
Pretty cool looking.
But it's definitely the type of serene, picturesque place that I could see Israel throwing a missile at and blaming somebody else.
Yeah, because that's kind of what people are saying right now. It's like they're saying this may have been an Israeli sub because, first of all, it doesn't make sense for Iran to attack a target that far away. But the reason it makes sense for someone to say that it was them is because then it would make it that Iran has missiles that have twice as long of a capacity as they currently do, and changing their capacity up to the 2,500 miles, essentially from the 1,200 that they're rated for right now, would put London in a crosshair. And the fact that they shot at a UK base as well, that's what people are trying to make happen. But I don't think it was Iran. Iran came out and said, no, it wasn't us. It doesn't make any sense. And they've been pretty transparent as far as all that, and I'm going to have to side with him on this one.
Yeah, hate going against ourselves, I guess, but
Sucks.
we are all Israel, buddy. But the
We are Charlie Kirk.
I just feel like Iran's been like, we don't want any of this, but we will go eye for an eye.
Yeah.
And then they're like, okay, but you can't do this. We're like, this is the one and only move we have, and we're gonna shut down the strait.
Yeah.
I feel like they haven't lied to us.
Like every time they say, like, "Hey, we killed one of your Ayatollahs," like, "Yeah, he's dead." He's like, "We killed an intelligence chief." He's like, "Yeah, no denying it. He's definitely he's below ground." And it's like, geez, like some of his stuff that anyone else would try to hide during a war, like, yeah, no, they're dead.
Yeah, it's weird. I guess we've just been dealing with Russia for so long that having somebody just tell you honestly, yes. And you're like, I don't know if I should believe this.
It's wild. But it's,
We're so used to opposite day that now that we're in the upright, and you're like, I don't know what I can trust anymore.
like they're out there. I mean, anytime that they're coming out, like Trump comes out again, we went over this. Trump will be like, "Oh, peace talks happen, and we're talking to the best people, and Iranians want peace." Like, no, man, no, we don't. Like, we haven't talked to you. Like, no one's reached out to us. But every time you hear something about that on Kalshi on one of those predictor apps, somebody puts a big old bet and makes a whole lot of windfall of money. And it sounds like insider info, but hey, what do I know?
Speaking of Nancy Pelosi and Joe Biden,
Yeah.
I don't how it's all the evidence is so there and it's plain and they're not even trying to hide it anymore. And there's still like I guess 9 or 12 people left in the country are like, no, it's killing me.
Who would have known if you give a con man a hall pass, he would start conning people? Like, weird.
I liked it better when we were just the good guys. You think we'll ever get back to that?
Like, that'd be nice, but I mean, at least let the actual news reporting come out of the Pentagon so we as a people can find out what's happening.
Well, we had a shot at it for a minute there. On Friday, a federal judge ruled that the Pentagon's new "don't report anything we don't hand you directly" policy is unconstitutional. You may remember the pledge to only report government-sanctioned press pissed everybody off, including, double checks my notes here, Fox and Newsmax, who said we ain't signing nothing. Brother, when Newsmax says nah, you know you've stepped over a line. But, it's Trump, so who cares? Typical Trump faction. Hegseth decided if that's the case with the federal courts, no press can be allowed on the grounds and kicked everybody out. They announced a plan to keep a press in a separate annex building, which will be built and ready to go undetermined.
They're limiting the news. Like, what more do you people want that this is an authoritarian regime? Like, I don't know.
You're such a socialist libtard with your facts and poignant takes on what they're doing to us.
My meds are down 1,600%. Like, you don't know what numbers are.
Yeah. Numbers are not a construct.
I hate you people.
But sometimes numbers are final. This week, Chuck Norris delivered his final roundhouse kick, perfectly striking the bucket at 86 years old. The longtime Republican is best known for starring in Walker, Texas Ranger, where he did everything but the job description. According to my Googles, a Texas Ranger investigates major crimes. Nope. Public corruption. Also nope. Cold cases. Never once. And officer-involved shootings, which they did not allow in that show. All Chuck did on his show was throw roundhouse kicks like, I wonder what Johnny Lawrence would have turned out if he grew up in Texas instead of California. Chuck also starred in every straight-to-video action movie that Jean-Claude Van Damme turned down, as well as promised the unwashed masses that a second Obama term would lead to 1,000 years of darkness. Now, I gotta tell you, past 10 years have felt like 1,000 years of darkness, but I don't think that's what he meant. I did, however, enjoy his cameo at the end of Dodgeball, so R.I.P. Chuck.
Like, I was gonna say, like, he predicted 1,000 years. He didn't say it was gonna be right after Obama. He's like, Obama, yada yada yada, Donald Trump, nuclear holocaust, and we're all donezo.
Yeah, so thanks Joe Biden for making the second Obama term happen and curse us with 1,000 years of darkness.
We could have had a broad who laughs funny or 1,000 years of darkness. We went from 1,000 years of darkness. If that should tell you about wage inequality in this country.
Yeah. So just for those of you following, do not, as much as you want to, never, ever, ever follow a B-level action star from the straight-to-video action movies like Steven Seagal or Chuck Norris.
You're telling that to an audience that elected a guy from The Apprentice to be president twice. You gotta read the room better, buddy.
He's good at business and we don't get HBO.
He said all these things, like he said what everyone wanted to hear in every room. None of it was consistent.
Oh, yeah. Well, you guys elected a child banger, and he's got us in World War III. So thanks, and I cannot wait till Governor Newsom turns to President Newsom and takes away all of your rights to vote.
We'll see what happens if we're still around here on Thursday. I'm guessing, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and say next week, boots on the ground. I think we'll be fine on Thursday. There'll be some new developments, but I don't think we're getting a full-on war just yet. And if that's how you jinx something, there you go. I'm Alex Midway.
It sounds like somebody opened up a new Kalshi account. I'm Eric Halsey.
Daddy, chill.
Later, Gators.